Pythagorean theorem, question number 2. So our question says, rather than walk all the way around Farmer Fred's 1,500 meter by 2 kilometer rectangular field, Olaf cuts across it from corner to corner. How much shorter was his trip if he had to walk all the way around? So I'm just going to highlight our important information. So it says that his rectangular field is 1,500 meters by 2 kilometers. So the first thing I'm going to do is just draw myself a picture of a rectangular field that is 1,500 meters by 2 kilometers. Now, the first thing I notice is that the units on this don't match. And I am going to have to address that. So we're going to have to find a way either to show both of these in kilometers or both of them in meters. And we did do a unit conversion practice. If you missed that, you can check out one of the other videos. But we talked about how to convert from metric unit to metric unit. So I have a choice. I can either change meters into kilometers or kilometers into meters. So if I make the kilometers into meters, the number is going to get bigger. And if I make my meters into kilometers, my number will get smaller. I like the idea of smaller numbers. So I'm going to try maybe changing this into meters. Sorry, into kilometers. So if I'm going from meters to kilometers, we're going to move our decimal to the left. So the decimal starts out at the end of the number, and we are moving from meters to kilometers 1, 2, 3 steps up. So I'm going to move my decimal place 1, 2, 3 spots over, which means this is 1.5 kilometers. If you had wanted to change the kilometers into meters, kilometers to meters is 1, 2, 3 steps down. So we'd have to move the decimal 1, 2, 3 spots, which would add 3 extra zeros to give us 2,000 meters. Okay, so now that I've got the dimensions figured out, we're going to come back to the question. It says Olaf cuts across the field from corner to corner. So he's maybe starting here and ending here. And he's going to walk across the field from corner to corner. Hopefully he and the farmer are friends and he's not trespassing. So it says, how much shorter was his trip than if he had to walk all the way around? So really what it's asking me to find is, how far is it if he walks from corner to corner across the field? Now, if I look at this, I notice it makes a triangle. Now, because this is a rectangular field, the corners inside rectangles are all 90 degrees. So this makes a right angle triangle, which means I'm allowed to use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to start by labeling A, B, and C. So C is always my hypotenuse. Across from the 90-degree angle, the longest side, that's C. And then A and B, it's up to you how you want to label it. This is kind of the base of the triangle, so I'm going to call that B, and this one I'm going to call A. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So my A, that's 2, so 2 squared, plus B, I'm going to do 1.5 squared equals C, or X squared. 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4. 1.5 squared, or 1.5 times 1.5, is 2.25 equals X squared. If I add 2.25 and 4, that gives me 6.25. That equals X squared. And then to solve for just X, I'm going to cancel out that square by doing the inverse operation and square rooting. The square root of 6.25 is 2.5. And that is kilometers. So what that means is if he walks all the way across from corner to corner, he will walk 2.5 kilometers, right? That's the shortcut if he goes corner to corner. But the question isn't asking how far does he have to walk. The question is, how much shorter is it than going all the way around? And when it says all the way around, we're not going all the way around all the sides of the rectangle. It just means if he doesn't walk across the field, if he walks around the border of the field from where he starts to where he ends, how far is that? So I'm going to try to figure out what the long way would be. So he's got 1.5 kilometers and then 2 kilometers for a grand total of 3.5 kilometers. So if he does the shortcut, it's 2.5 kilometers. If he goes the long way, it's 3.5 kilometers. So we're interested in how much shorter is this. So I'm going to do 3.5 minus 2.5, which is a difference of 1 kilometer. So I am going to write a sentence to say, therefore, his trip is 1 kilometer shorter than walking around. You can check out the next video if you need help with question number 3.